Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Capcom, you done it again. So let's talk about it. Survival is just the beginning. 6 years has passed since the biological disaster in Raccoon City. Agent Leon S. Kennedy, one of the survivors of the incident, has been set to rescue the president's kidnapped daughter. He tracks her to a secluded European village where there is something terribly wrong with the locals. As the curtains rise on this story, a daring rescue, some grueling horror where life and death, terror intersect, featuring modernized gameplay, a reimagined storyline, vividly detailed graphics. Resident Evil 4 marks the rebirth of that industry juggernaut, so you can relive the nightmare in the revolutionized, exclusively on the king of VR, the PSVR2. Now with all the facts out of the way, let's get into the real reason why you clicked on this video from overall thoughts, impressions, and review. And my boys and girls, we're going to kick this off saying that this is the full game in VR. Despite that being a widely spread known fact, there's still some people out there that believe this is just an experience and it's incomplete. Also, this is not the Quest version that's released on the Meta. This is a completely revamped remake from the ground up, from the newest remaster of a game that's been remastered and remastered and remastered again. It took me around 16 hours to complete this game on the standard difficulty, and I got an B at the end of the storyline on my first go at it. Despite investing 16 hours into the game, as it is a standalone linear storyline, I still feel like there's more hours to be consumed by either a second playthrough or to have fun with some unlocks and bonuses, or trying to beat my score so I can get some extra goodies that I won't spoil in this review. You can even hunt the collectibles for some more hours of gameplay unless you do it your first try, which for me, unfortunately, I didn't. And maxing all your guns with the money, etc, etc. Capcom though has done it again by showing the world that VR is here to stay and that long games can work despite the naysayers saying it can't, because even the most casual VR gamers are starving for more meatier experiences, and the hardcore players such as myself are gasping for air. But luckily for us, this game is a fresh oxygen tank full of it. Now, we're not gonna say that this game is perfect, but we're not gonna act like a perfect game exists. But this game does really walk that thin line of what it could be to perfection, or floating around the perfection space in a VR sense. There's a lot of positives to go over, but I want to kick this off by speaking about the very few flaws that I have. And to do that, we have to look at Village. And when we look at Village, overall, I feel Village is the better VR game. Now, you can argue and throw your tantrums and put your panties in a bunch about the differences in story and gameplay all you want, but the fact is, in terms of interaction, general polish, more controlment, and overall sense of immersion, Village wins every time, hands down. This game takes you out of the VR-ness in your immersion by cinematic cutscenes, unlike its counterpart where you actually got to watch them in VR, even if there was a little jank to them, by taking away your controlled movement spaces during crawling scenes or crawling spaces, unlike its counterpart, by the flashlight use of when it can turn on and turn off. Your roundhouse kicks takes you out of that immersion because you see Leon in a 3D space, climbing up the ladders, riding the train, etc, etc. You get the point. You know what I'm talking about. That lack of polish for those transitions isn't at that quality of standard as Village set that tone. And that's okay, because the positives far outweigh those very few negatives. in every single imaginary theory possible that you could think of or try to debate about. And literally that's all I have to complain about as for the bad of a VR space VR game. As for the game itself, there was a few things that I had some issues with, but that is for the game itself. I'm talking about compared to VR as a VR AF game, as people are starting to say that term. I don't really use that term, but as a VR game in itself, that is what I think, and that is that. So I can go on forever and ever about the good that this game provides. Most of you guys already know what you're here for, probably the score at the end, or you're here just to give my overall thoughts, or maybe you just want to support me because you like what I have to say. Or maybe you're just waiting for me to say doo-doo-fi garbage, shit turds, diarrhea, dumpster juice, guava juice, snail turds, acorn nuts on your ball sack. Now listen, if you're here for that, there you go. But this game is none of that. I just gave y'all what y'all wanted. Now y'all can keep it moving and skip to the end and look at your score. But regardless, if you're here for my actual thoughts, I appreciate you, love you. Let's keep it moving. So we're going to just kick off the good shit with 16 chapter campaigns, foveated rendering, full use of all the trigger haptics and feedback and headset rumble, no crashes, no glitches, very stable, smooth as butter frame rates, and the resolution pushing the highest VR fidelity possible alongside its legendary counterpart Village. I did notice when I had it locked in on the sweet spot, there was no jaggies, no rough edges, no, like, even from far distance, just none of that texture glitches, that glitchy effect. Now, some people said that that was a thing, but I think it might have been patched by the time I played it, because I literally noticed none of that. But that's just me and what I experienced. Now, despite having the high graphical fidelity that this game pushes, it is based off of an older game at the time, so some skyboxes look a little lower in resolution. Some textures, like from the mountains and the rocks, might be off a little bit, but you're not really going to notice that unless you're a graphic geek and you get off finding those flaws. But a simpleton simply playing the game, they're not going to notice it, and you're not going to care, nor should you. The game standard difficulty I didn't have a problem with, but we have an issue with the sniper rifle, because the sniper rifle compared to Village is aggravation until you learn the mechanics. Once you learn the mechanics, it's smooth sailing, and most people had a problem with the sniper rifle because we got accustomed and used to Village. So to have such a different mechanical way to use this sniper, it was a little bit on the awkward, not friendly type of vibe, and sometimes it is a little bit wonky because you have to push it all the way up onto your headset for it to zoom in, and then you gotta close an eye, where really we didn't have that issue with Village. As for the game itself, gameplay wise, I'm not really good at puzzle solving for the most part, but I was able to glide my way figuring out puzzles relatively easy despite getting stuck a few times in various pots. The game does provide some of my favorite moments in VR to date, especially with the parrying system with the knives and the knives fighting. There's tons of weapons and variety, just like Village. There's a merchant, a typewriter, a save system, everything that you love about Resident Evil, it's in the same series, so most of it will be here. And despite it being a survival horror game, this game wasn't as scary, even in VR, to me, as it was in Village. Now don't get me wrong, this game has its scary moments, but there's something more powerful about the way Village takes on horror, where this one is more action oriented and more on the go, and less of the building up the tension and the scares. So just wanted to throw that out there in case you're not really a horror fan. You're not really getting much horror here, you're getting some, but it's way more action based, and you may only get scared a little bit, but there is sometimes that you get put on edge and it's tense and your butthole might pucker. There's crafting and treasures to help gain your arsenal, and you know, as you play through the game, you can pick your own play style with your weapon loadouts. There's tons of boss fights, which if you know me by now, you know how much I love a good old boss fight. And honestly, every single owner of the PSVR2, whether you love survival horror or not, or you like the Resident Evil or not, You should absolutely check it out at the very least, especially when they go on sale, because it's like a steal at those prices, and they are nothing short of masterpieces, and that is for both games because I've played them both now. I have them fully on the channel. You can go check the receipts, and they are incredible. You gotta get into it because it was Capcom to save the day yet again, adding tremendous value to the owners of the PSVR2 by gracing us with yet another Magnus Onum, or Opus. Magnus Opus. We here at NGI get Resident Evil 4 VR on the PSVR2. An outstanding 10 out of 10. Make sure you stay up to date with all the latest in gaming tech news and reviews. Smash that like, and as always, subscribe. And I'm going to see you guys in the next stream or video. God bless and peace.
Pick up the eggs! Pick up the eggs! I need to eat the eggs for health. Holy shit. Oh my gosh. What's up? What's up with it, bro?
Give me a break already.
Come on, big boy. I got enough smoke for everybody. I got enough smoke for...
You gotta be kidding me.
Holy shit! Holy shit! What's up with it? What up? Come on! Woo! Yeah. What you looking? What the fuck you looking at, bro? What you looking at, bro? Fucked his ass up. Fuck we talking about? What we talking about? All y'all get it. All y'all can get it. Straight murderer out here.
Tenemos que servir.
Oh my gosh, dude. That wasn't scary, but that was adrenaline inducing. Like, my adrenaline's through the roof right now. It also helps that I have alcohol, so maybe it's not as scary to me. Because I've been drinking a little bit. Give me a break, it's New Year's. Oh shit, dude. Fucking hell. Look at my damage, baby.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
Woo! Welcome to the intro, baby. That's just me getting started. That's just getting warmed up. Oh my gosh.
I want a Pop-Tart.